Hi, and welcome to Forever Rugby Beyond Forever Sport for today's South Africa versus France. Combined 15. Very, very interesting task, very fun task. And I always love doing these sort of videos because it just creates so much debate in terms of one for one, player for player. Who would you pick in a combined 15? Which is always obviously very subjective. You know, you South Africans will have your favorites, French players will have their favorites. And one of my favorite exercises actually was when I sat down with an Irish fan at a pub earlier this World Cup. And we did a bit of a combined 15. And it was very interesting to see what the sort of international perspective was with regards to players that they really rate. So, for example, in that instance, they were saying they felt de Klerk is phenomenal, and they said they can't understand why there's any sort of hate towards him from South African fans. Well, a lot of the international fans think he's absolutely brilliant. So it's very interesting to see which players the international audience really do rate from the box. But in terms of this, we're going to go through it in a little bit, and we'll see exactly how many French, how many South African players are managed to put into the various positions on the team and stuff like that. Some of them have become a bit of combinations as well to a certain degree, and some very tough picks to make as well. So before I sort of reveal my combined 15, I want to know what yours would be down in the comments below. What changes would you make to mine, and how many of each team would you have in the in this combined 15? Let me know down in the comments below. Smash like on the video and subscribe to the channel as well. And let's have a look. That is what I have got. And let's do a little head count, shall we? So from South African players, I have got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I've got 7 South African players, which means 8 French players. So it's down in the middle. I actually didn't even realize that. That actually kind of just happened organically, which is interesting. But let's go through it. So in the front, Amden Ard, Amden Ard, Amden Ard, Steve Kitts. Stephen Kitsoff and Cyril by a bit of a coin toss in the end. So I'm a massive Kitsoff fan. I think he's playing some brilliant rugby. Cyril Bai is a superstar, though. Absolute superstar. I think he is the best loose head in the world. Probably have Stephen Kitsoff a second, to be honest. In an international perspective, I think he's absolutely sensational. But I got with Cyril Bai. That was a big call to make. In hookers, Piotr Novak has been very, very impressive. If Julian Marchand was playing, he'd probably edge Bongi Manambi, but if Malcolm Marx was playing, he would edge Julian Marchand for me. So I've gone with Bongi Manambi. I think that, from an international pedigree point of view, Novak is in great form. But I'm picking Bongi every day of the week. World Cup winner, started a World Cup final, for example. Um, Taking a big leadership role this year, which has been very interesting to see. Tied to that, I've got unashamedly France Moher, but come at me if you will. Unai Antonio is a great player, absolute unit. France Moher for me is world class, absolutely world class. One of the most underrated players in the world, and I will not be having it. If you don't like it, shame. That's who I've gone with. Come at me if you will. The locks, I've gone with Ibn Etzebeth and Thibaut Flament. I don't think that's too controversial, to be honest. I think Frank Mostard's been putting in a really good shift. Really happy to see but I think Thibaut Flaman's is just a great player. And Ibn Etzebeth is the best number 4 in the world. That's not up for debate. Cameron Walker's had a great tournament. Very impressed with him. Ibn Etzebeth's a different level. The loose trio was always going to be really, really tricky. Charles Olivon could easily be on this side. Anthony Delon, so he's fit and firing, which he's starting to look like he is, could be easily in this. I've gone with Celia Cleese and Peter Steph Latoya as my 2 flanks. I think it's a nice combination. And then I've gone with Gregory Aldred at 8. I do think that on his day, Dwayne Freeman's the best number 8 in the world. Is coming to the back end of his career, so we sort of thought we saw him slowing down, but has put in some really big performances this year, which has just reminded us of the caliber he is at. But Gregory Aldridge, he's just on a different level at the moment. Such a good ball carrier, such a good leader, such a good link up between the backs and the forwards, and a great all round player. So that's my pack. It is more South African heavy than the back line, which I think is probably quite fair actually. Halfback pairing, I've got Anton Dumont and Mathieu Jalabert. I've been very impressed with Jalabert. I think he's really stood up this tournament, and I think he's really risen to the occasion. No Romain Ntamack, and a lot of worries about that potentially denting the French chances in this World Cup. But Jalabert's come in and said, "No, don't stress about me. You might have forgotten about me, but I can still do the job." Anton Dupont, no, nothing really needs to be said about him as to why he'd get into this team. I've got Chethan Colby in the number 11, Damien Pinot in the number 14. I think that's a tasty, tasty wing combination. And the centres, I've given it to the French. Damien De Lindy against Ireland. I think Damien De Lindy, Jonathan Dante. It kind of comes down to who's on form in the day. I think very different type of players. Dante's a very good breakdown threat. And a very big ball carrier. Damien De Lindy is barbaric in the way he carries the ball. almost like an auxiliary forward, really, for the South Africans. Big part of the competition today in the midfield will come down to these two. And I'm going with Gail Fiku ahead of Jesse Creel. Jesse Creel's going to have a fantastic tournament. I do think that people need to admit that he's played really well and definitely stepped up to the occasion. Gail Fiku is world class, absolutely world class. Um, I think one of the top centers in the world. And yeah, and then fullback, Toma Ramos, what a player. Absolutely phenomenal. Absolute baller. Come at me, Damian Williams has been sensational this tournament. Absolutely sensational. I think he's probably been South Africa's best player. It's a huge call. But I think he has. In fact, maybe it's not even that big of a call. I think he's actually been quite blatantly our best player. Even in that Ireland defeat, for example, I thought he was the best player on the pitch. Um, so I'll go with Damian Williams at 15. That's what it was difficult to leave Tomo Ramos out because I watched him play against Italy. The way he kicks, the way he moves around the park. He's a great player. He's had to work really hard to get back into this French team. And he's made that 15 his own, and he's world class. But I think Damian Williams is at a different level. I think he walks into any 15 in the world. I cannot think of a team where he wouldn't play. And I'm concluding a Hugo Keenan who's world class. I think Damian Williams would walk into the Ireland side. I think Damian Williams walks into that New Zealand side. I think he walks into the French side. To be honest, I think if Thomas Ramos, maybe his goal kicking would keep him in there. And player that's an all-round player, I don't think Damian Williams is currently being matched at the moment at a 15. It's a big call. It's a huge call. To say that he's basically the best fullback in the world, but I genuinely think he is one of them. And I think that this tournament we're starting to see the talent of Damian Williams. So we've seen in the last 2 years, world class talent doesn't always become a world class player. He's becoming a world class player, and I think the next 4 years are going to be his years. And watch out for Damian Williams. So that's what I've gone with my Command 15. What change would you make? Down in the comments below. Let me know. Smash like on the video. Subscribe to the channel as well. Thank you very much for watching. My name is Stephen, and I'll chat to you soon.